Welcome everyone, you join us here today at the Land Rover Experience Centre in Eastern in the United Kingdom. I'm joined today by two very special guests. First of all, Mike, our Land Rover Classic expert. Mike, great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're also joined by our second special guest, the Series 1 Land Rover, an icon in its own right. It's a real thing of beauty. Shall we take a deeper dive around and understand a bit more of the history?
Yeah, absolutely. So the vehicle, when it arrived, it was actually a multitude of colours, this one. It was originally bronze green. She spent all her life in the outback. It was assembled in Australia originally, and in 1950. And on this massive estate, this massive cattle station, 25,000 hectares. So she was a little bit sunburnt, a little bit beaten, a little bit worn out, but she came back to Solihull and went through the process of being restored. When you get a vehicle to restore, obviously you've got a strategy, and one of the benefits of doing this at Land Rover, we've got access to all the engineering drawings and archives, so we can look at the vehicle, assess what needs to be done to it, and decide whether that part needs to be restored or replaced. And that's the same with all of the Reborn vehicles.
I mean, these bonnet catches is such a classic piece.
Yeah, they're certainly very 1950s and of the time, very functional.
Definitely.
So this is the 1.6 litre petrol engine, which puts out 55 horsepower. The vehicle isn't very heavy compared to a vehicle today. It only weighs 1,200 kilograms. So yeah, it's more than enough power to keep her happy.
Amazing, and I love how it's even got the original chassis plate at the back there.
Yeah, there's certain parts of the vehicle that you really want to try and keep original, and that plate there, we were able to keep it original. If you have a look at it, you can see it's ever so slightly worn and beaten, and that. Yeah, so the seats are green vinyl, and that's exactly what the specification was in the day. We kept the original key, which is a replacement key from Newman's Hardware in Townsville in Queensland, so that's a little bit of authenticity there. One step they put in the early Land Rovers was to make sure that you had minimal process for operating the vehicle, which is one of those things which has stayed in the vehicle today. Hill descent control works exactly the same way in a modern Land Rover.
It's crazy. Well, speaking of off-road technology, should we jump in and go and put it through its paces?
That's a great idea. So Series 1 is a term that was given to the vehicle in 1958 when the Series 2 came out, and all the vehicles previous to that Series 2 model became Series 1s, and you have a mix of products. This model, an 80-inch, it's a very short wheelbase, it's the original design. Once you get to the next model, which was the 86, you had the sister vehicle, which was the 107, right. The longer wheelbase, and that all came about from the other great feature that is in a went through the series vehicles and Defender, was the box section chassis. So this obstacle here, this H-shaped pattern, is going to be slightly interesting in this vehicle because we don't have traction control or locking E-diffs or anything like that. So we might get to a point where the vehicle gets two wheels in the air and it may stop. So what we'll need to do there is back off. I'm going to just make it.
There we go.
So,
perfect.
Just got that. And that's the thing of planning, once again, planning your route, planning your off-roading, and what you're going to do. And in the case, if you do get stuck, how are you going to get out of it? Yeah, well, you can see how good this vehicle, this is the first model, the 80-inch, how capable it was just as a base vehicle. And as I suppose the world's become, technology has moved, this really benchmarked the ability of Land Rover.
God, it just takes it in its stride. Incredible.
So the vehicle is very original. We came across her in 2015 and thought what a brilliant opportunity to make this vehicle the first Land Rover Reborn. And she came back to Solihull in 2015, and first thing we did was took her back to where she left as a box of parts, and then we took her into a part of the factory alongside the Defender line where the engineering department originally was in 1948, which was a really nice little feature, and she was rebuilt there, so it was almost starting from scratch moment. It was quite an incredible thing to be able to be there back where it started life and have this vehicle in restoration. So Huey's Land Rover number 1, or pre-production number 1. So before Huey there was a couple of centre steer mule prototype style vehicles. Those other vehicles were needed to get the concept right. Having the vehicle correctly set up, as you would a current Discovery or an Evoque or a Sport or whatever, it'll give the customer and driver the confidence to operate the vehicle where you may not normally take an everyday car. I mean, the innovation really is in the four-wheel drive system, that ease of use, and the chassis. One of the things with the Series 1 vehicles is because the development was so rapid. You know, they went from nothing to, you know, the launch of the actual production line in 10 months.
Wow,
So
10 months?
in 10 months, yeah. So yeah, from the end of 1947, suddenly the production line was running in June, July 1948.
If you enjoyed the live test drives and you don't want to miss out on anything else from Land Rover, you have to do one simple thing.
Subscribe to Land Rover's YouTube channel now.